Good goob morning, Aaron, Ty. Still dark in California. Sun's rising out there, isn't it, Ty? Are you in Southern or Northern California? California. California. Sweet, my stuff works. I'm on a roll, man. I'm on a tear. And now my stuff won't. I'm like echoing here. Hope everybody's doing well. All right. You guys aren't in San Diego Comic-Con? Comic-Cons? Roger, good to see you. Lou, good morning. I dressed up for you guys today. Saturdays with Sean, where I talk about tabletop RPG news, releases, things of that nature for the last week, with help from the chat. My co-host, the chat, Morgan Harrigan. A bright and balmy morning. Is it in Colorado? Mr. Swick, good to see you. Good turnout already. Worked at Facebook, Ty? Wow. Schmancy. Did you get to meet you get to meet the CEO, Mr. Zuckerberg? Wayne, Morgan. All right. 70 currently, forecast for 97. It's muggy as crap here today. I think we're supposed to get rain later this afternoon, or as I like to refer to it as meatball stew weather. It's getting old. It's not getting better. I don't know. Where is the ultimate climate, and why aren't we all living there? Ty says, so I'm guessing we're going to talk about how the Dungeons and Dragons movie will fail miserably after 1 week of having good sales. Come on, Ty. Come on. Zero Therapy, good to see you. Good. Coffee, fine stream, nice. Yeah, thing is, you don't even have to have the video on. You can just listen. Although there's probably a little bit of visuals, but nonetheless. Raining in Metro Detroit. Rock City! Even Laramie Wall has joined us. Holy cow. That guy. He's probably sitting in a pharmaceutical closet at work. I'm going to love every moment of that POS movie. Come on, Joe. Come on. I put out a tweet that said, breaking. The new Dungeons and Dragons trailer does not feature a DM. Wizards to put out next edition as GM-less. So, Eileen put it, I think, pretty well, and I'm sure she would accredit that to another blog or news site, that they look like they're trying to capture the Monty Python Holy Grail and The Princess Bride. And I think, here's the thing, though. I mean, we could talk about the movie for a while, I'm sure. We could start out there. We'll talk about the movie. Why not? At the top of the hour, why not crack that open? Right? And Guardians, for sure. Yeah, for sure. So let's see. This is the thing, right? How many of us have played Dungeons and Dragons and never ever really took it over, like seriously, like very serious game, right? It's all about fart jokes and wonky names and, metagaming and looking at the table and go, hey, can you do anything? No, I can't do anything. Do you have anything? No, I don't have anything. Monty Python, maybe not so much, Wayne. They mentioned it in a blog. So I think that's a stretch for sure, just because of British humor. But I think from the not taking itself too serious, I don't think a D&D movie is Lord of the Rings. I think it's like the meme, right? It's the D&D meme we've all seen. What we think of the party or the party, which is like a picture of the Fellowship of the Ring, and then what my D&D group it actually is, and then it's Monty Python, Holy Grail. Like I think that's what it is. Yeah, zero therapy. That's like Lord of the Rings. I mean, you could probably put out a Drizzt movie and, have the guy all angsty and, dual wielding scimitars and, his Black Panther companion and traveling the Sword Coast or wherever, Baldur and visiting Baldur's Gate. I think there's something there. You get R.A. Salvatore to isn't that so funny? You R.A. Salvatore's Drizzt is based off of his own probably player character. He writes books about it, basically fan fiction. Come on. And then it comes around full circle and makes a movie out of it. What the hell, right? I just recently unearthed hundreds of pages of taking it really seriously as a teen, early 20s DM. If you don't know what Harrigan's talking about, he went home. He went home to his childhood home, or to his folks anyway, and unearthed his archive and shared it on our Discord. Even his handwritten notes of the young lad. D&D the meme the movie. They had a character quote Python in game. That would be massive meta fan service. So I just think that it depends on how it's executed in the movie, but from the trailer, it's a bard with some snarky and there's some comments, and I think that's what a D&D group is. So do they capture the essence? I think they would from the 1 minute and a half. It probably captures some of the essence of what D&D is more than what Lord of the Rings would capture of what D&D is. Lord of the Rings is what we want our D&D experience to be, but it never is. Or there's very short snippets of it, in my opinion. We all love the tropes. Yeah, man, y'all meet in an inn. Like, they should just include it, be unforgiving about it, but execute it well enough. And I think that's what they're trying to do, is not take themselves too seriously. I mean, they got Chris Pine. I mean, the cast, Miss Rodriguez, they're not slouches. Granted, they have Jeremy Irons in the past too, and one of the Wayans brothers, right? But I don't know. Maybe the script's better. The effects certainly look pretty freaking cool. I think they should remake the movie Mazes and Monsters. Tom Hanks was in the original. So Ty, I don't know if you knew this. Ty, I'm gonna bop around a little bit because Ty brings that up. Just so you know, Ty, it's actually something I wanted to bring up. How old do you think Mazes and Monsters is, everybody? How old is it? Anybody know? How old is Mazes and Monsters, the movie? $1980. I hear 1980. 83. 84. 80s. For sure, early 80s. 82. 1982. And that doesn't have my browser in it. So hold on a second. 1982 is... I just got to change this browser window. Well, that's not you. That's you guys. Here we go. 1982. And they're limited, and they're re-releasing the 40th anniversary limited edition Blu-ray, Ty, just for you. They said, Ty Prunty, he wants this. He's talking about us having to re-release it. Why don't we just do Blu-ray and put it on Blu-ray? Now, on this site, it looks like it's in pounds. So I don't know if they're a little bit more lenient in the copyright and how they can release it, because obviously this doesn't look like a United States release. Unless you can get it somewhere else. I don't know. It's got a different box here. Get it? That's the same set of dice. It's my set of dice. I have those same. I have that very set of. No, I don't. It's pretty close though. It's a terrible movie. I don't even know if it's on Tom Hanks's IMDb. If you haven't experienced it, it's fun to experience and watch, I guess. For those of I would say the older generation, or for those that wonder what the Satanic Panic was like, or how it got kicked off, right? It's obviously fiction, but based on one of the guys that ended up, going off and getting lost in steam tunnels or somewhere. It's aerotherapy to make fun of. Yeah. It's cringy for sure, but it is part of our subculture. It just is. Like it, don't like it, see it or don't see it. It's part of this, the weird dice, character sheets, big rule books. And it's something to be aware of. Adapted from the best-selling novel by Rona Jaffe. I actually read the novel, I think, before I saw the movie. But there you go. Yeah, it came out in 82. 82. Wouldn't lie to you, Ty. It says right here, 1982. Big rule books. Speaking of big rule books, man, you guys are full of segues. I'm just gonna follow you guys. I'm just gonna follow you guys through this. You guys are producing the show today, all right? Speaking of big rule books, man, I got the biggest rule book ever. You guys can all guess what it is if you've got it on the Kickstarter. This thing's a beast. This kicks Champion's ass all over the place. It laughs in the face of DCC. Ha! Laughs at it. Ha ha ha. Ptolus, not even close. Haunted West? No, Phil. It's not Haunted West. I think it's Weird Frontiers, baby. You're right, Harrigan. Look at this. Look at this freaking thing, man. Should I put a quarter up to it for I will put this here. I'll get some things here. All right, here we go. Ptolus. Okay, this thing clocks in at so this is the original Ptolus. 670 pages. All right, 670 pages. Ptolus. Okay. I'm gonna work out today. I don't know if I can hold these up at the same time. Not even close. Well, it's close. Okay. For those of you who have weird frontiers, you already know what I'm talking about. This is the D&D slipcase, 5th edition. It has the Player's Handbook DMG, the Monster Manual, and the DM screen in it. Okay? just for shits and giggles, shall we say. It'll work out. It's just shy. It's a little lower. A little smaller. But this is one book. It has everything you need. Dave Beatty, I love that guy. He's a friend of mine. He actually owns a shirt with my driver's license mugshot on it. It's kind of a joke. So I know Dave. I played with Dave. I love Dave. He's a great guy. If you ever get to meet Dave Beatty, or you see a game that's run by Dave, jump in it. He's super awesome. But I'll tell you what, Dave, baby, I don't know, man. I have to think that before you started this book, you didn't envision it being this big. There's like, what happened, man? You let yourself go, bro. Yeah, this thing's crazy. Like, I'm afraid to open it. I didn't even know they could make spines this big. I mean, of course, but still, this thing is, it's all black and white. To do a page through, holy cow. I mean, talk about loving something and a passion project and really putting your all into it. The cover, I got the limited fancy edition. It's great. So the question is, am I going to run it? I don't know. I mean, obviously, when it came out, I wanted to support Dave. And I did get to play it at GaryCon. So I'm a little disappointed I wasn't listed as a playtester, but that's neither here or there. And the only reason I say whether I would play it or not is I'm just not a Western guy. Although, well, it's Western horror, Cthulhu, which it is. But at the same time, like if somebody said, hey, Sean, want to play Deadlands? I don't know. Aces and eights? Like, I don't sit down and watch all the John Wayne, Clint Eastwood, spaghetti westerns. I just don't. It's never been a genre that I've appreciated for whatever reason. I guess I appreciate it. It's just not my strawberry ice cream or whatever. Insert flavor of ice cream. I like big books and I cannot lie. That other brothers can deny. When I see those books with a big spine, I get sprung. Talk to me, Lewis. Yeah, it is no joke. And, frankly, it's a steal. I mean, I think it's fairly safe to say that Dave probably lost a lot of money on the Kickstarter just because of shipping costs and probably the form factor of the book. And, it can be tricky putting out this stuff. If you don't know of all the costs, that might get you into trouble. And where was I going with this? I don't know what I was going to say. But if you, I don't know. I would say that whatever I got this for, okay, he's got the retail on the sticker. Suggested retail, $100, which I did not pay for. This I did not pay for $100. So I got it for a pretty good deal, I would say. Like I got it for $80. And all the PDFs and stuff like that. And it's got two ribbons. And I never give you the page count. It's got tables. So the very last page, melee weapons, there's an ad in the back. So the index, it stops being numbered at the index. 887. In their back, there's some pictures of people playing it. I wonder if I'm in there. Doesn't some recognizable faces. But yeah, it's I'd like to run it maybe at a con, one shot. If there's an adventure in it that Dave ran, I'd like the adventure that he ran for Gary Con a few years ago. But it's been in the making for a long time. I mean, I played it probably I think at the last Gary Con that I was at. And since the pandemic came, so 2020, right? So it had to been 2019. So 3 years ago at least, maybe even 4, because it probably started before then. Yeah, it's a beast, Phil. It's like a phone book, like a big city phone book for sure, without the thin paper thin, like the super thin newspaper pages. Um, if you like horror western, for sure, check it out. Even if it's the PDF, the PDF's probably pretty reasonable, but it's still a beast. Like, I wonder if there are 100 extra pages explaining the Chaosium-driven name change. Yeah, so those that aren't aware, it was originally named Dark Trails. And I think I have a Dark Trails koozie and a Dark Trails t-shirt, which are now collector's items. Does it lay open flat? I'm afraid to crack it. Like if I try to open it flat, it's like these kind of books are like big beefy books, but it can't be good for the spine, right? Like how is it bound that your pages aren't going to just like fall onto your feet? Aces and Eights is no joke either, right, Laramie? That's a pretty damn big book. It's a nice one. Well, it's not that big. It's really nicely done, though. If you get I think I've seen the limited edition where there's like, gold. Is it called inlay fleck? I don't know. Along the edges. It's pretty nice. By Kenzer, right? Kenzer Company, I think. Right? Like Jolly Blackburn's org did that. Aces and Eights. Yeah. All in one Orcus Dorcas. Good to see you. Yeah, so everything should be in there. Oh, man. It's crazy. Hey, Lucas. Good morning to you. From Nebraska. So. Come on, man. What, you guys can't sing? Yeah. Is there an anti-deforestation fund we can contribute to? I think Dave put it in the book where he was going to plant a tree for every copy. And it probably wouldn't do it justice. Oh, man. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's cheaper to do it in one fell swoop. So there's the big. So we went from D&D the movie to big books, and there you go. I mean, it's actually, I think the paper in it's pretty light. I think if you would have got glossy, like the stuff they use in the D&D books, this thing would probably weigh like probably another 3 pounds, or 2 pounds maybe. Oof, 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 oof. Yeah, Dark Master's a good one too. That's a big one, but doesn't have anything on this one. No way. No way. No way, no way. All right. Let's go back to the movie quick. I think I've got. Did I? Yeah, I did. All right. Let me see. I'm going to do this. All right. So I think I can. Let's go through the monsters. I know there's screenshots of them out online. Let me see. Look at that beauty. Look Look at that beauty. All right, so we got the mimic, right? In case you guys weren't aware of, right? There's a mimic. Spoilers, there's a mimic in the D&D movie. What else? The owlbear. Everybody's up in arms over the owlbear. George, good to see you. Ran to alien. Awesome. Owlbear. They did a good job on the owlbear, right? Didn't look like crap. What do they call that again? That is an owlbear. Let's see. What else? There's a part of the owlbear. You know what they used? Like, this is frame by frame. At least in the video. I was like, maybe not frame by frame. As much as frame by frame could be in QuickTime. I could have probably put it into an editor and went frame by frame and tried to capture something. But when you do a lot of motion, you can motion blur all that stuff out, right? So you can kind of futz with the effects. Oh, and things aren't changing for you guys. That's awesome. Hold on a second. So let's see. Come on. Does it not? Whoops. Oh, fantastic. It doesn't change. How does it not change? Do I have to add? No, what I'm going to do, I'll just do this. Just do this. There. Well, I'll get it to go. There. Owlbear. Owlbear. What else we got here? Another shot at owlbear. Gelatinous Cube. That's a good shot of the Gelatinous Cube, I gotta say. Because I think we notice it and we see it, but seeing that guy in there with the skeleton, it's like the freaking miniature. And you know, making them dive into a gelatinous cube is. Somebody said on a tweet, you know, there's a dungeon master out there trying to figure out how to get a party to jump into a gelatinous cube while trying to escape the displacer beast. I think those were all. Were that all the screenshots? Yeah, I think if I shared any more, I'd share it with you. Some recovery codes I have. So I mean, the effects, like, if I go in there and see this, okay, I think it would be kind of cool. I don't know. What do you think? Crit fail and hits. Drinking game. I don't know, Laramie. Here's the thing with the gelatinous. Well, I suppose. I guess, you know, we'd walk right into them and not even know. But I think, you know, gelatinous cubes, they're cleaning the floors. I think they'd have a little bit of dirt and grit to them so you'd be able to see them to some degree, right? I would think. I don't know. I'm a gelatinous cube expert. I've studied gelatinous cubes in all their forms, and I have to say, what's up in arms about the owlbear? So the owlbear deal is that the woman playing what appears to be like a tiefling druid, which is another issue that will come up, is that you can't shape change into an owlbear because it's a monster, I think. So it's not an animal. So people are like, that's totally, you can't do that, man. It's so, even the tweet that I put out there that said, wizards to come out with a DM-less version of D&D. You always got, it's a complete joke, obviously. But there's always some nerds that got to comment, well, actually, it's, you could tell that maybe Hugh Grant's character could be the dungeon master. Well, actually. It's like, come on, dudes, you get just don't, things that just, you don't have to comment on everything. You just don't. So yeah, a lot of people up in arms about the druid changing into an owlbear. Actually, the rules don't say that they are able to do that because the owlbear isn't actually an animal, and in druid, shapeshift is only possible if you go into be an animal. As I make fun of the audience I have, not you guys. Us nerds, man. We That's going to be one of my NPCs, Harrigan. It's going to be one of those NPCs. I'm going to play the guys from the X-Files. I can't remember. They had their own spin-off series. I cannot remember what they were called. They were the friendlies, right? They were considered the friendlies of Mulder, Scully and Mulder. Fox and Scully. Fox, Mulder, Scully. Yeah. Anyways, I can't remember what that group was, right? The goofy guys. So the guy in the suit, the two nerds. Come on, the lone gunman. There you go. Thanks, Laramie. I knew one of you guys would come out with it. That's gonna be the lone gunman that you guys meet. Well, actually, what are you guys trying to figure out here in Tampa? It's the rules argument over a movie that is based loosely on a game wherein they didn't specify a rule set or anything. Yes, that's right, Laramie. That is the deal. Somebody's going to watch the movie and the monsters do something and you go, nope, can't do that, all wrong. Oh, of course, they're going to come out and just bash the shit out of it because things don't adhere to the rules. It's going to be ridiculous. Wayne, the lone gunman, yep. Skulder and Mully. Scully. The other thing is that I don't know if you guys saw the movie poster. I think the deal about the movie poster using the intellect devourer. I don't even know half of these monsters. I'm so bad. If somebody's like the D&D aficionado, I think they did that on the Mythwits. They tested my D&D knowledge, and I was like, I didn't know any of the answers. I'm terrible. And what's the monsters and anything? So the poster's the best. So if you're not in the know, I don't have pictures to bring it up. Just Google search it. It's in news articles. But basically, they took the intellect devourer out of the from Pathfinder. They use that image and put it into the D&D poster. It's the only thing they did was change the tint, the color. And so people are up in arms about that. Paizo's not going to care. Paizo's getting publicity off it. What's this? What? Huh? What's all the hubbub? Paizo, Pathfinder. What's that? What's Pathfinder? What? Oh, a game like D&D? I could try that? Oh, let's do that. But, they'll pay him a fee for using it. It's not damaging their brand necessarily. It's infringing upon an artist, probably copyright maybe. But yeah, it's oops. And they named who the poster was done by, the production place. So they usually outsource some of that stuff. Hey, we need you to do our movie poster. Okay, right? It's not the actual studio, but they shouldn't be using other people's artwork. And maybe, some people say they probably got their wires crossed on, who is what. if they're not in the know like us, right? Like, dude, there's a difference between like Pathfinder and D&D. All right, let's get into some other stuff. So, good stuff. All right, one game that Sean's gonna have flashbacks on and probably have some triggers. The Fallen Few. I don't know if I would get this only because it's D20 based, but whatever. Teach their own. Maybe it's awesome. It's a motorcycle club RPG. Thanks for Geek Native pointing this out. You play as an outlaw, 1% biker gang member or vigilante, but the bikers in the Fallen Few are protective and ambitious of their freedom. Freedom! Right? Live free. Ride hard, live free. I don't even remember the sayings. It's all my repertoire, Harrigan. The D20 based RPG author Mitchell Tierney is on Kickstarter with a target of $5,000 Australian dollars to hit in 2 months. You can see the progress or join in from the pitch page. Oh, so it's a Kickstarter. Cool. There you go. 4 backers, $3,000, 58 days. Ooh, might be an uphill battle. I don't know. The roar of the engines, the smell of hot grease and steaming asphalt fills your nostrils. The twin engines purr between your legs. It's a long, hard row out of hell. Fallen Few ride in formation. They ride in formation. They are fronted by their long-beloved leader, Sonny. Pulls back on the throttle and the muffler spits fire and smoke. On an open highway, there is only the freedom. To capture that in an RPG. To Sean's point, Laramie, do you play D&D? Sure, all the time. For us people, I've played D&D proper 3 times in the last 15-ish years. Welcome to the Life in the Outlaw Motorcycle Club. Not many people experience a life riding for an infamous club, but now you have been invited to partake in a club as it sets up its new chapter in the town of Chapel Hill. Become a Fallen Few Chapel Hill original and ride your Harley through the main streets. Let the wind blow in your hair and the oil splash upon your tattooed arms. Lead a crew of club members as you set up your club, stake your hold on the town, and fight off intruders that try to take your territory. On the road, we are a family. Welcome to the club. Okay. Role-playing. If you play D&D or any D20 system before, you will be able to slip straight into familiar territory. The only difference is there's no magic, dragons here, only hot rods, chopper bikes, and other roaring motorcycles in the open road. D20 system. Yeah. Example of rules are every member must ride a motorcycle. No law enforcement is another one. Unless you start a Leo club. Even every member, typo, must get the chapter tattoo. These rules are made to be broken, so if they don't suit you or your crew, feel free to alter them. I might check that out. $5 Australian. Let's see. Take 25. Gets me the PDF. 60 Aussie. Soft cover. Ooh, not a lot of backers, man. I don't know if this is going to fund. How many backers in the top? 4. Yikes. First one that Mitchell's created and he hasn't backed any. But he's released 7 books. Sold art and drawn and written multiple comics. I know there's other ones that are similar, so I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I wish him the best of luck. It might be tough uphill battle for him. I don't know what the cutoff is. Like, if you don't get to this by this point in time in your campaign, forget about it. It's probably not going to fun, but I don't know. I haven't looked at the video either. Anyways, let's see. What else we got here? Oh. Now is a great time to get into the legendary Traveler RPG. Rob Whelan, friend of the show, right down the street in Milwaukee, on Forbes, writes an article about Traveler. This article came out June 9th, so it's about a month to almost 2 months old. The only reason I bring up this particular article is because Traveler's birthday was yesterday. Happy birthday, Traveler! So I think Traveler turned 40 years old yesterday. Holy buckets. Where's my Traveler peeps? I love Traveler. Woo! It won't fun, Phil says. I checked to see if they have been problems with his previous projects. This is his first one, I think. Yeah. Laramie says he doesn't have any previous ones. Plus, you got to promote the shit. You almost have to be like, some people are like, how do I become a Twitch affiliate? What's the best way to do it so I become a Twitch affiliate? Well, the best way is to have an audience first, then just flip over to Twitch and have your audience make you an affiliate. Honestly, same thing with Kickstarters. Have a mailing list, a blog, I don't know, products you've sold on drive-through, because I think you could still market to those individuals, maybe. I don't know. Maybe not. And then you get like Brett, Streets of Avalon, perfect example. He had a podcast, put out Streets of Avalon, promoted it through the podcast, got it funded, in the hands of many people. Done. Now, he's got an uphill battle for sure. But anyways, Traveler, 40 years. Woo! Hey-o, Orcus Dorcas, hey-o. Be 41, but they died in its initial creation. Hey-o. He's going to be in town all weekend. All right. Oh, page cannot be found. What, the link changed on me? What happened? Uh-oh. Come on now. It did. No, they didn't pull it. Come on. What's going on? Anyways, that's weird. Unearthed Arcana from Wizards. Laramie, well, Sean, how about Dave Beatty? How did he reach everyone? He did it at conventions. For sure. And he had written his module Carnival of the Damned, right? Am I right? Is that did I get that right? Dave Beatty's nobody. He's not a nobody. Like, he's done work. There you go. Plus, I think he did it through Goodman Games, didn't he? This guy's doing it independent. Oh, he's just comparing. Yeah. Okay. Sure. Got it. Thought you were trying to say, Sean, you're wrong. Because Dave Beatty's nobody and nobody knew him. He knew people. Yeah, it's just right. Right. We're on the same page. Anyways, Wonders of the Multiverse, Unearthed Arcana. Character options from across the multiverse. This playtest document presents the Glitching Race, the Fate Domain Cleric subclass, and the Gate Warden, Giant Foundling, Planar Philosopher, and Rune Carver backgrounds. Additionally, a collection of new feats provide links to giants and other primordial forces of the planes, while a selection of new spells highlight the power of fate and chance. So the reason I bring this up is that there's a rumor, like, I don't know it, but apparently one of these things is part of Planescape. So I wanted to bring this up for people that are like, I would really. Why won't Wizards release Planescape? It's like the greatest setting ever. Another voice. I'm full of them today, Harrigan. So, Planescape, anybody? Anybody excited about this? We don't have a ton of like hardcore dedicated 5e players, right, in the chat right now. I think we've all played. We all run here and there, except Laramie. He just won't. But and maybe Planescape lovers will take on 5th edition and go, yeah, I'll play it if it's Planescape. Should name those voices. They're gonna be on this channel when I start doing videos sometime. I'll play characters that are just those guys. It's what I play most, Joe says. Okay. Well, 5th edition, yeah. Are you a Planescape guy, Joe? Is Wizards starting to commit the mistakes of the past? Setting glut? Well, I think if you are going to put out a book, it might be setting, especially if you've announced another edition, because I think people will still buy settings. They may not buy another source book. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Not much of a Planar Travel fan, neither am I. Played 5e 3 times. Once was an accident. I thought it was the 1e game. Thanks, Levi Combs. He duped me. He pulled a bait and switch on me. Did you get up? You should have flipped the table there and walked off. 5e? Foo. We're getting new. I regret never getting Planescape. Hey, Jim, to the table. Had the box set for 25 years or so. Not a Planescape guy. Jim DeCloaks. All right. So there, I brought that up because Planescape. Let's see. I should be putting links in there into the chat. Why isn't that opening? Why am I'm having a problem here? Why am I having a problem here? Doctors and Daleks Player's Guide. So if you're a Doctor Who fan, I didn't know if you knew this, but Cubicle 7, no slouch in the RPG publishing space, is putting out the Doctor Who 5th edition compatible game or with the 5e rules. Yeah. Trying to bridge that gap. Play our game. It is 5e-ish. You don't have to learn any new rules. It's the same. It's just Doctor Who. Or as I used to call our Doctor Who guy in high school, Dr. What? Orcus Dorcas. You guys had Levi on your show, didn't you? Go check out Titterpig's RPG podcast, and you can hear Orcus Dorcas's sultry tones. I got to check. I'll be right back. I'm going to be right back because I think my little dog might be trickling around upstairs. She pees in the floor if I don't. Just hold on. All right. No dog. Cat's outside. It's like hot here already, like really hot. Smoking hot. 82. No, it's not raining yet. Humidity 68. It's freaking miserable already outside. Anyways, Cubicle 7, Doctor Who, 5th edition. 5e rules. Get it while it's hot. Edge Studio. Makers of Midnight. Star Wars RPG. Formerly of Fantasy Flight Games. Division of Asmodee. Brings you Adventures in Rokugan, which is the 5th edition, the supplement for 5th edition. So playing 5th edition rules in the Legend of the Five Rings setting. Releasing August 5th at Gen Con. Who's going to Gen Con? No, I know Orcus Dorcas is. He's got a super awesome press pass. Yeah, Laramie, it's terrible here. Anyways, doesn't really say here. Adventures in Rokugan will also be playable in an original scenario, the Festival of 1,000,000 Blossoms. That'll be at Gen Con. Springtime graces the Emerald Empire. Phoenix Clan prepare to host a festival honoring the spirits and those who passed the following year, but something isn't right. The air is bitter. Once green leaves are withering and everyone is on edge, you can uncover the truth before the festival is ruined. There will be pre-generated characters for this adventure, and the 5th edition D20 SRD system will be used. See you, Laramie. So there you go. Like Legend of the Five Rings. Want to try it? Don't want another rule set? There you go. Correct, Orcus Dorcas. They are the ones overseeing the Star Wars RPG, and they're reprinting some. So a few of these streams ago, there was news that they listed all the books that they were going to print more copies of. And I think it's probably listed under here on their news somewhere. So yeah, New Hope maybe right here. Yeah. So these are the list of books of Star Wars. Getting me sidejacked here. They're reprinting. Let's see what else. Pathfinder. Oh, here's one. Uncle Steve. He's got a Kickstarter. Think it'll fund. 50K funding goal. It's at 32. Pathfinder Revolution. So, Savage Worlds, Pinnacle works with Paizo and gets some Pathfinder, Savage Worlds Pathfinder. Hey, Steve Jackson's like, hey man, we could do a board game for you. Austin, Texas. That's where I'm going. Next Monday. Following Monday. A week from Monday. Maybe I'll stop by Steve's place. Uncle Steve. City of Corvosa. Secretly bid against your opponents for control of important people and guilds, gaining influence in different regions throughout the city. A re-implementation of Revolution by Steve Jackson Games. This is Pathfinder Revolution, so it's based on a previous game that they made. I did not know. I didn't know Revolution, but there you go. Whoops. Probably don't need the plus there. 3 to 4 players. Looks somewhat like Lords of Waterdeep. No. Oh, 18 force tokens, 18 blackmail tokens, 42 gold tokens, rule sheet, how to play. Interesting. I mean, if you told me this is what it looks like, and you've played Lords of Waterdeep, I'd say there's probably some similarities in this. But you could probably take Lords of Waterdeep and make it into anything, right? It's like Monopoly. Call it Lords of, I don't know, Orcus Dorcas Keep. A lot of reviews already out there. Oh, stretch goals. Oh, you got to throw in some Munchkin. If John Kovalick's doing the artwork, what the hell? Get out of here, Augie. I'll get you. No, go on now. Go on. Lay down. Dang cat. All right, so let's see. This I found interesting. So this is Ben Riggs' book. I brought this up on the stream before, Slaying the Dragon, A Secret History of Dungeons and Dragons, and talked about how popular Basic was compared to AD&D and the sales in one stream. This describes how Margaret Weiss, why she left TSR. And here's the excerpt. I think out of the book, maybe, or at least an interview. So apparently, in a nutshell, I read through this, and in a nutshell, what it came down to was she didn't believe Lorraine after Gary left. They ousted Gary. That Lorraine was really Lorraine Williams, who took over, just did that. She didn't have the best vision for TSR. And it says here that Margaret said she clearly felt that Williams took the company in the wrong direction. The creative spirit in the company seemed to die when Gary was gone. He truly cared about D&D. After he was ousted, management seemed to care only about making money, though without any real idea of how to do it. All the while spending money on wasteful projects such as remodeling offices and promoting self-interests such as Buck Rogers, end quote. She continues, quote, I never really interacted a whole lot with Lorraine, but when I did, I really didn't like it, end quote. So she mentions how she was put into the novel area of TSR, and that's what she was kind of set up to do there at TSR. Meanwhile, her and Tracy Hickman came up with the Dark Sword trilogy. I don't know if I think I read that a long time ago, but it is like I couldn't even tell you what it was even about. And TSR wasn't going to put it out, so Bantam Books picked it up, and they were going to pay. They were offering $30,000 for her to do the book, which is equivalent to $75,000 today, apparently. And she says they were getting a pittance from TSR. And so the 30 grand was very lucrative to her. And that was 30 grand for each book. So, that particular success, she said, at TSR meant that Weiss and Hickman could leave TSR, given the background they've had. And then I didn't know Larry Elmore heard that Weiss and Hickman would be departing to write fantasy novels for Bantam. He wanted a piece of the action. Could they get him the job of painting the cover of the first novel, which he did. So anyways, that's a little interesting insight into some of her details on leaving TSR. I'm just trying to figure out, see. And then they hired Larry ultimately. Weiss doesn't remember at what convention or in what year Lorraine Williams threatened to sue her, but it was definitely at a convention. It wasn't Gen Con. Of that much she was certain, but it was at a convention and Lorraine was there. Weiss in the middle of a conversation when Williams appeared. She had a simple message to convey. She was considering suing her and Hickman over Rose of the Prophet, which is the trilogy that came after Dark Sword. She believed that the pair had worked on material for the trilogy while at TSR. If so, it was company property under the contracts, and she had standing to sue. With that, like a bad dream, Williams was gone. They probably picked the wrong trilogy, because it says if she had threatened to sue over the Dark Sword trilogy, it would at least have made sense. It was obviously developed while the pair had been at TSR. The company, after all, had turned the project down. The acceptance of the trilogy of Bantam and their commensurate pay raise was the reason the pair had left. So the idea that Williams and her baying pack of lawyers could have found any hard, tangible proof that the pair had worked on Rose of the Prophet at the company years after they left was at best unlikely. There you go. Kind of goes on. Interesting. Hey, Michael. Good to see you. So there's that. Some insight to Miss Weiss's departure. Thanks to Ann World and Ben Riggs for putting that out there. Check out Ben's book. Crowdfunding news. Thanks to Ian World, ianworld.org. Check them out. Helgard, Curse of Cana. I think we popped this up before. Ends in a few days, a week, August 2nd. This is like the one RPG all in one thing and miniatures and all that stuff. This was the one with, that's right, B. Dave Walters, Ed Greenwood, Nora Ibrahim, John Wick, a few others. Fully funded. Second one, When the Wolf Comes, a Viking verse role-playing game powered by Shadow of the Demon Lord. So if you like Shadow of the Demon Lord rules, When the Wolf Comes, from Ian Stewart Sharp and Outland Entertainment. $25 Canadian for the PDF of the book. Apparently they interview Ian, could be Ian, about it coming up. What if the Vikings won it all, took the world and then the stars? If the concept of space Vikings appeals, this project is worth your time. Not mine. Not a big, no. Space Vikings, 10 Norse ancestries, classes, rules, and magic designed for the Shadow of the Demon Lord system. If you're a fan of Vikings, Ian's novels and graphic novel. I didn't know he did novels and graphic novel. There you go. Obviously met the goal. See you, Lou. Death Throes, role-playing on the brink of collapse. Death Throes Zombie Outbreak role-playing by Stasis Games. System, rooted in trophy. This is a new take on the zombie apocalypse. It offers something refreshing, hope. Zombie Outbreak just started. It's not the ninth ending civilization. Civilization is still in the pregame. At this stage, the outbreak could be contained. The world as we know it could carry on. There just has to be a push to succeed. Yeah. If a zombie outbreak would start in the modern world, we'd be doomed. I think we'd be screwed. Sean would become a survivalist. Learn how to frickin' gut a deer. Next one, Hidden Worlds, Incursion Refined. It's from Section 28 Publishing. Core rulebook, an original system. Hunt monsters, save humanity, survive? Brian Donahue brings this World of Incursion near future urban fantasy series to tabletop with a second edition of his setting and original D20 system. Monsters hunt humanity, you hunt the monsters. No classes or levels. Your advancement is based on improving skills. Funded. Monstrous Personas, 5th edition supplement by Colin Franson, Gander, Morris, Stone. By Spoony Minstrel Games. An adventure module. Funded. $9 for the PDF. Don't just slay the monster, take their powers. Okay. Humblewood Tales. Humblewood Tales from Hit Point Press, D&D 5th edition system. Adventure module, $50, shipping and handling for the PDF and print versions of the book. 200 pages. New adventures, new monsters, new subclasses, and more. Nice addition to the anthropomorphic world of Humblewood. Funded. Wow, really funded. Holy cow. So the goal was $10,000. It's at $247,000. $5E, Till Death Do Us Part, Adventures with Heart for $5E from EN Publishing. £10 for the PDF of the book. Need some love in your 5e adventures? This book offers 4 adventures, each one with a different take on love and design for different levels. On top of the adventures, the book offers an event, a wedding. It's not an adventure, but an experience and one that will speak to certain GMs. If you're a fan of 5e and lovely adventures, this is worth pursuing. Funded. Big Squirm. Hard-boiled Troika adventure. Adventure module. By using Troika system. £30, shipping and handling, PDF and print versions. Hard-boiled detective Troika. If you know Troika, then you know weird does not begin to summarize where these adventures can go. Add in the hard-boiled detective format, and you'll either fall into the group that feels this is a work of underappreciated genius, or Troika is not your jam. 100 pages. Funded. Man, lots of funded, man. RPGs. Those are all Kickstarters. RPGs keeping Kickstarter alive. I have not played Caleb Stokes' Red Markets. That is no small book either. I think there was a good interview with Caleb. I can't remember who did it. Might have been, because he's a part of the Roleplay Academy, one of the podcasts. Can't remember. And he's talked about it on a few other ones too. We didn't go into a lot of detail on GM Mastermind about it, but let's see. Print news, EN World. See what's being printed. One Night in the Sinister Citadel by Goodman Games. By James Floyd Kelly, no relation. Softcover adventure. Check it, $10, 5th edition. Urban-based adventure for a group of second-level characters. Toma Heroes. Look like a different couple and limited edition. So a couple different covers. 5th edition, Tome of Heroes. New rules for character classes, character races, subclasses, weapon options, powerful spells. Man, I don't know. I just running 5th edition and having somebody like buy all this stuff and bring it to the table and go, I want to use all this. I'd be like, oh, God. Do they playtest all these things? All of it? I don't know. It's a lot. Level Up, Advanced 5th Edition, Trials and Treasures by EM Publishing, $60, hardcover supplement, 500 magic items and rules for crafting them. Historia Adventures book by Mana Project Studio, 5th edition, softcover supplement, $34. 9 adventures set in the world of Historia, linkable to form a campaign that will accompany the characters from 1st to 3rd. I'm sorry, 1st to the 3rd tier, which is 1st to 16th level. Set in Vestiria, a merciless land full of intrigue and populated by anthropomorphic animals. Dare I say furries? No. Here's a few by Legendary Games. Pathfinder 2nd edition. Fairy bargains, legendary mediums, conquering heroes, pre-generated characters, and treasury of the city. Call of Cthulhu starter set, so they changed it. This is the 40th anniversary. I kind of like this cover better than the other one. Box set, $25. 5 ready-to-play character, blank investigator sheets, 6 polyhedral dice, and handouts. You have Alone Against the Flames, a solo introductory adventure, starter rules, and 3 starter adventures by Mike Mason and friends. All right. Elegy of the Sapphire Adept, The Forest Primordia, and Dead in the Water by Exalted Funeral. So first 2 are Troika, last one is Mothership. $12, $20, and $10. Star Trek Adventures Rules Digest. Soft cover core condensed core rulebook. Huh. So they got a Humble Bundle out there I might get in on. Because I think there's some Star Trek Adventures that are in the new Humble Bundle that have not been offered before. And this game still's kind of itching at me just because it's Star Trek. The Tricorder Collector's box set I've seen. But it's weird. It's starting to get into a weird... Okay, so is the Tricorder Collector's box set all you need, or do you need the Adventurer core book? And literally, I picked up that slipcase and I turned it around and it was like, Star Trek Adventurers core book required, or to be used with the Star Trek Adventurers core book. And I'm like, so they're not? What? So it's starting to get into OSE territory for me a little bit. The core rules can be used for any era of a play, an extensive exploration in the United Federation of Planets and its galactic neighbors in the Alpha and Beta quadrants. Okay. Yeah. So it was only part of the Tricorder Collector's box set, so you can get it now as an individual book for $41. Yeah. That's it. That's the print. It's all the print stuff for this week. For sure. What's up, Dorigo? That's it. That's all I had to talk about. That's all I had to talk about this week. Might be a short one today, folks. Yeah. these guys, man, and they're it's okay if they're just all different books, but they're not, because they kind of overlap or they break it out. Like OSE was originally 4 books, right? That I remember. It was like originally 4 books, and the purpose was not everybody at the table needed every book. And if you came to the table and you played, you were a player, you needed this book. Like I think it was fighters. One was magic. One was for the DM. Can't remember what the other one was for. Slipcase, pull out the book, use the book, great. And then it got out of control. Because then they put it all in together, because everybody's like, I don't want 4 separate books. I want them all in one. So then he did the tome. But then he did a player's tome. The OSE tome. Like, we could talk about OSE in the breakdown. Great book, great product. But Gavin, man, it's getting into the 4th edition stuff that I at least encountered. I didn't buy a lot of 4th edition, but I know it was like, wait a minute, so the red box, and then you have the core books, and then you had something else come out, and that's like the digest size of the core books, but it's not the same as the red box. I don't know. I mean, role-playing games marketing could use some help, and I don't think you do it any justice by, okay, like, wait, since we're on the topic, let's just get down to it here. Star Trek Adventures RPG. So you've got the player's guide here, right? Then you've got the game master's guide here. These two, I know, can be bought in a slipcase together. The tricorder set. Tricorder collector's box set. Right, I think. Okay. Right. I think. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe you don't. Yeah, you do. I don't know. They're not. What do I do? Here it is. Digest Edition Core Rulebook stylized after the original series. Perfect for new players, experienced role players. I haven't looked at it. I got to look at it. Because one of these things, like, I know when Paizo put out their 1st edition Pathfinder and then they put out a digest version, dude, they literally shrunk the whole book. They didn't lay it out differently. They literally took like a PDF and were like, we'll just change the dimensions. Instead of 8.5 by 11, we're going to do small digest size. Plunk. And the print was like 6-point font, man. I couldn't read the crap. No, OSE's good. I like OSE. It's just determining, like, if you were to buy it and you don't know anything about it, are you buying the right thing? Is it going to give you what you need? That's all. That's all. I think it's like, I mean, I can imagine you'd probably want like the core books, plunk. I don't know. So in defense of the publishers, right, they're probably going to be like, okay, Sean's a GM. Maybe he just wants the Game Master stuff. And then I'm a player. I don't want all the Game Master stuff. And then you want both. So you run into that conundrum. And then, of course, you want to make it its own names, right? So you have GM stuff, player stuff, both stuff. Oh, sorry, John. And then you put out some supplements, or you rewrite the rules, or maybe you do like Star Trek and then they get into like, well, this is only going to cover the original series. But then, so you have the original series player stuff, original series GM stuff, and the original series combo stuff, and they're 8.5 by 11. But then they want them to do a digest size. So you do digest size of player stuff and GM stuff, and then combined stuff. And then you name it. And then you got like 9 different names of products. And you're like, what is going to get me into this game? And obviously the core rulebook is a no-brainer, right? But what is different from this thing to like the tricorder one? I could have swore, man, I flipped the tricorder or the slipcase. It might have been the slipcase. It might not even have been the tricorder one. But there was a slipcase with like 2 books in it. I'm pretty sure it was these 2 books that you could buy. I know I did. And I was like, I could have swore I flipped it around and it was like, you need the core book to use these. But I don't know. I don't know. I could be wrong. I can be wrong. Collector's edition core rulebook. So you get the collector's edition core rulebook. Oy. PDF. Throw in the PDF. Captain's Bundle. They got a lot of stuff out. 5 pages? Wow. Okay. I think I gave up my Star Trek stuff. I had the core book, the GM screen. I think that was it. And I gave it up to Noble Knight. But I have a butt ton of PDFs because of the bundles. So all the source books, right? Probably don't need any of those. Unless you're like a GM. Great. The print and PDF core collection Warp Factor 1 for $122. So you can't, wait a minute. So you don't get the, so when you buy the core book, you don't get the PDF. You got to buy that as a bundle together. Boo. 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 Damn it. Yeah, licensing fees to pay. I think this would be a game where I would just go all PDF, honestly. Although, I mean, who is a nerd who doesn't like Star Trek? Okay, there's a few. A lot of stuff here. Dice. All digital here. And the campaign guide collector's edition, that looks pretty freaking cool. It's nice to see them in white. Like, I dig black print, but man, some of them. Here's the rules digest in digest size. And you have a rules digest size in PDF? Yikes. What? Sometimes I think I'm just an idiot. Maybe I am. Modiphius could watch this and be like, that guy's an idiot. He didn't know what he's talking about. It's not that hard. Yeah, right. That's like, just help me understand what is in each. And, you know, maybe it's like, break it down by like rule books for players, rule books for game masters, rule books for both. Different sizes. Like, I don't understand why you would buy a core rulebook in PDF and then a digest size core rulebook in PDF. I mean, they're going to be on your freaking tablet. It's not, the physical size doesn't matter at that point, right? Like, unless they relay it out. They lay it out differently, use different colors. Maybe they take out. That's where the question comes in. Where, well, do they take out things from one to the other? I don't know. I like Star Trek. I want to watch Strange New Worlds. I saw one episode. I liked it. There you go. I said it. So, yeah. See you, Joe. All right. I'm going to hang it up early. I'm going to give you guys some day back today. Hope you're gaming. In my world, let's see, I wrap up usually by telling you what's going on in my world. So I recorded Craig Shipman and Jim Ingram. I think I mentioned this last time. So I think the last time I had him queued up to record. Well, that's done. And we talked about duet gaming. So that'll be coming out in a couple weeks. 25th August. Shoot, I could tell you in a second when it's going to drop. It is going to drop to the public on the 8th. On the 8th. Now, I was going to do one on urban adventuring with my buddy Brett. Some of you might know. But I'm trying to get a date down. Seems like he's a busy dude, so I don't know if I'll be able to get him on the show to talk about urban adventuring. We'll see. I've got some folks that have signed up to be on the show, and maybe we could tap some of those individuals. I'm just wanting to make sure whoever I get on the show can talk about what the topic is. You know, I don't want somebody like talking about supers, like I mentioned, who don't play supers games. So we'll see. The next show I'm trying to queue up. Actually, yeah, that's what I'm going to try to do. So I hope to play next week, run Delta Green Sweetness, episode 2. I did record the first one. I may put out in audio or video or both, unedited, and just throw it out there for people who are interested to watch it and listen to it. It's a good group. Some of the folks that are playing are in the chat. And we'll see about wrapping that up. And then August 9th, for me, I'll be kicking off Impossible Landscapes with some people from the Sweetness group and a couple others that'll be joining. I will record that as well. I hope to put it out there for people to watch and listen to. It'll be interesting. It's a big Delta Green campaign. And excited about it. Doing a lot of prep for it. And then the Bitter Reach Forbidden Lands continues. It's been a little hard with scheduling, but I think next week we might be on for a game. And then Sean starts his new job, so hopefully my daytime, free time will be definitely eaten up. But I think during the job search, I wasn't doing a ton of non-job search hunting during the day, but obviously my schedule is a lot more flexible. But anyways, that's what I got going on. I hope you're gaming. Hope you're doing well. And you know what? If you're getting burned out on gaming and you need to take a break, nothing wrong with that either. You know, that's okay. If you want to hang out with some of the people in the chat, head over to we'll just say gmmastermind.com/Discord. We'll get you to the Discord and talk about gaming and things of that nature, what's going on. Otherwise, give this a like if you found any value whatsoever, even if it was for my 3 wonky voices that I used during this episode. That would be greatly appreciated. And subscribe. A lot of people don't subscribe to channels. You don't need to get notified. Just subscribe. So you're not going to get any notifications or emails or anything unless you want to hit the bell. Do that. And then you'll know when I go live, things of that nature. But I really appreciate you guys getting up early, grabbing a coffee, or, if you're overseas, maybe something of a cocktail and tuning in. And for those of you that are going to be watching this non-live, thanks for taking the time out of your night or day to see what's going on in the RPG hobby. Having said that, I'll let you go. Be a positive force in the tabletop RPG hobby. Game on, and we'll check you on the next one.